So there is some very interesting and most likely negative news out there right now to do with the next Battlefield game, and that is that the founder and head of Ridgeline Games, who are working on the narrative for the next Battlefield game, that being Marcus Lehto, has officially left Ridgeline and therefore EA with absolutely no statement or anything like that, and the details of the story are definitely a little bit concerning. It's been a good minute since I've done a Battlefield video. I've been mostly focusing on the finals, and it is very frustrating to me that the first video that I make coming back to Battlefield is essentially a negative one. I don't want that to be the case, but I wanted to fill you guys in on all of this news because it is very interesting and definitely pretty shocking. I did not expect to see this when I woke up this morning. Now, for a little bit of context behind Marcus Lehto, Marcus was brought on in 2022 as part of Battlefield's essentially course correction for the Battlefield franchise after what was obviously a very bad launch with 2042. EA sort of put out a statement in, I believe it was January of 2022. It was pretty early after the game had launched, and they pretty much announced that Vince Zampella, who had been known for being at Respawn, working on the Jedi series as well as working on Apex Legends, and originally came from some of the old school Modern Warfare games and was actually the founder of Infinity Ward, or one of the founders. They announced that Vince was coming on board. Alongside him, they also mentioned that Marcus Lehto was also going to be brought onto the team as well, helming his own studio in Ridgeline Games, who were working on the narrative. And they also made it a bit of a three-pronged attack, with Rebecca Sutaz, who I believe was formerly at Ubisoft, also being added to the Battlefield team as well. So that announcement happened in early 2022, and now about 2 years later in 2024, it seems as though this could be starting to fall apart, unfortunately. Now, as for Marcus himself, he's the co-creator of the Halo franchise, and as far as I'm aware, he's actually the guy who designed or conceptualized Master Chief, who is now 20 years later one of the most well-known characters in gaming history, albeit the last few years not necessarily for the best reason in terms of the show and all that kind of thing. But Marcus had nothing to do with the downfall of Halo. He wasn't on the team when Halo 5 and now Infinite came out, and he had nothing to do with the show either. So Marcus pretty much only had stuff to do with the good years of Halo, and then he was no longer at the team once it obviously started to kind of go downhill a little bit. Now, me personally, I was very excited to see him brought on. I feel like his storytelling and just the aesthetic that he could have brought to the Battlefield would have been really, really solid. And I know that I was definitely very excited, not only for him, but also when Vince Zampella became the head of Battlefield, because he is also one of the best people you could possibly have in that position. Now, before we go any further, guys, I wanted to give you a quick but exciting announcement. I've actually overhauled my Patreon, and there is now a free tier on the Patreon. Yes, free Patreon, while still giving you some of the awesome bonuses that we do have over there on the Patreon. Signing up for free will give you access to my private Discord channel. You'll also get the power to vote on the content that you get to see here on the channel, having an actual say in all of the content that goes up, not only on this channel, but my other channels as well. And most excitingly, I'm going to be doing a heap of giveaways throughout this year, giving away stuff like the new merch, for example. There's going to be new merch drops every 2 months or so, giving away some games throughout the year, and all of those giveaways are going to be done through the Patreon. All you need to do is click this button that says join for free. There's no catch to it at all. You're not going to get spammed with emails or anything like that. It is literally just a free tier to the Patreon for those who aren't interested in paying. And by doing so, you're going to be more involved in the community and also get some chances to win giveaways, vote on the content you want to see, and even get access to the private Discord channel, like I said. So be sure to head to the Patreon link down in the description, click that button that says join for free. But with that being said, let's get stuck back into the video. Now, anyway, like I said, it appears that he has now left the company, and there's absolutely nothing that points to why he may have left. He hasn't made a statement. No one else from EA or Ridgeline has made a statement at all, and most of this has in fact just been found by people in the community, that he's kind of removed those studios and stuff from his bio, both on Twitter and then also on Facebook. It actually says that he left his job at EA, which it says there was the VP and the GM of Ridgeline Games. So it appears as though he has definitely left, and like I said, there was no announcement made or anything like that. This was all kind of done in the background, and due to the fact that it says left his job at EA, it seems like he hasn't got some other job at EA or got a promotion or anything like that. You would think he would have updated that if that was the case. So it does seem as though he has definitely left EA as a whole. Now, why could that be? I honestly have no idea. What makes it weirder is that just 3 or so weeks ago, he posted this picture on his Twitter. It's a photo with him in Seattle, which is where Ridgeline Games is located, and he's having lunch with a few members of the team. You can see him pictured in the background there, waving his hand, and he seems really happy. So do the rest of the team. It doesn't seem like this was a bad meeting or anything like that. And so it is kind of weird to see the contrast between that happening, say, 3 weeks ago, and now apparently out of nowhere he has just left the company. That to me doesn't add up, and it does seem a little bit fishy, to say the least. Now, it could be for any reason. It could be family reasons, it could be health reasons, or anything like that. So out of respect, we shouldn't jump the gun. It could be something as simple as a family member's sick or something, and he just wants to leave and go and look after his family or something like that. We shouldn't just jump immediately to this being the worst possible thing for the game. Maybe he's just doing it for his own personal reasons. And if that is the case, hopefully everything is fine with Marcus, because he seems like a really nice dude and I don't want anything like that to happen to him or his family. On the other side of it though, the fact that it was done in such a quiet way, in the fact that there was no statement made or anything like that, that does make it come across as though it could be for some more negative reasons rather than just personal stuff. It could be anything from EA maybe trying to force his hand a little bit too much in terms of like creative differences and them trying to force things into the game that he just simply doesn't want in there. We know for a fact that that is something EA has done multiple times now, and they don't seem to learn their lesson from it. Something like, for example, the specialist system. I don't think they'll do that again, but maybe something like that where they want a system like that in the game, and Marcus simply just doesn't want to put that into his game, and therefore there's enough of a creative difference there that he just says, nah, you know what, I'm not doing that, I'm out. Something like that could be the case. It also could just be down to maybe he's lost the passion, or even down to maybe he has no faith in the project and doesn't really want his name associated with it. It could be for any of those sorts of reasons, and obviously none of those reasons are good whatsoever. Now I know all of that is speculation, and like I said, it could be literally just any reason. He could even have good reasons. It could be, like I said, he's got a promotion or something, but the fact that they haven't said anything, that is why these speculations run rampant, and that is no one's fault except for their own. They should have made this a public thing so that then this sort of speculation doesn't happen, because that is what we as humans do. Something weird happens and we all start speculating on it, and like I said, that is really no one's fault but EA's themselves. Either way, it definitely comes across as a bad thing to me due to the fact that, like I said, there is no transparency here. They haven't made a statement, and I'm really hoping that a statement does happen soon, whether it's from EA or from Ridgeline Games or from Marcus himself even. And to be honest, I dare say that he will, as he does seem to be very open in communication with his followers. He's done a lot of communication over the last couple of years since he's been in that position, and so I dare say he will talk about it, but obviously that isn't always the case, because it could be stuff that they're not really able to talk about. It's one of those things we're kind of just going to have to wait and see. Either way though, I am definitely bummed about this news. I was so excited to have Marcus on board. He seemed like really solid leadership to have in that franchise that obviously very much needs that leadership right now. And I won't lie, this does make me a little bit worried about the next game. The fact that he's just kind of up and left, that cannot possibly be a good thing. I'd be absolutely shocked if this is for a good reason. So definitely a little bit of a bummer, and it's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out. All I hope is that it doesn't negatively impact the next Battlefield game, because we all know that that just cannot happen. The next one really, really needs to be solid. And like I said, this news definitely has me a little bit concerned. But that is pretty much it for all of the news. Like I said, nothing really concrete yet, of course, but I wanted to fill you guys in, and if anything does come up in the next few weeks or so, then I will definitely fill you guys in on any updates to the situation. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there on the battlefield.